Hey guys, it's the Fort Worth Glock guy, and today I believe marks the 1 year anniversary of my first video on this product, Frog Lube. And yeah, I was looking back at my videos because I knew it was coming up, and I do believe that today is the day. So I wanted to kind of give you maybe an update to this stuff. And show you a couple guns that I've been using it on and how they performed in this last year. First of all, I do want to say that I've been using the Frog Lube paste mostly to treat these, and I don't treat them every time that I go to the range. But I do use this stuff in between cleanings. You know, just give it a once over, kind of rub it down. I feel like this stuff does well, but the paste does better. Or at least I feel like it coats better. So anyways, the way that I treat these is I just follow the instructions. I take apart the slide and I heat everything, and I just treat the parts. You know, anything that's metal, I treat. You know, I take everything down, and basically these are the two things that I'm treating: the slide and the barrel. And on most of my guns, I also I go ahead and treat the recoil spring as well. I don't really mess with the frame too much, even though you know, there are some metal parts on here. I just don't want to heat up the polymer. So like in a case like this, I might rub some of the gel on there, but you know, I don't want to heat this if I can help it. And it seems to work great. The reason I have these two guns out in particular is this is my Glock 17, and I wanted to show you that this is my this one stays in the safe. And since last year, when I applied this initially 1 year ago, this has only been to the range, I want to say one, maybe two times, because this is not my range gun. This is my home defense gun, and I do shoot a Glock 17, so it's not like I don't train with this. I do shoot a Glock 17, just not this particular one when I go to the range. This one has been just in the safe, and you know, ready to go, but in the safe. And the reason I did that is, number one, I did want to see how this would perform or how it would look 1 year later, you know, as far as preservation goes. And I have to say, I'm extremely pleased with it. I mean, this thing looks brand new. And if you look at the slide, you know, the issues that I had before using Frog Lube was that the slide would dry out, and you kind of get that ashy gray look to this. And you know, this looks brand new. I mean, there's not a fingerprint on it. There's no drying out. I mean, the metal looks like the day I bought it and I pulled it out of its case. I mean, it just looks amazing. So I mean, I can't, you know, from a standpoint of performance, it does exactly what it says it's supposed to do, as far as just storing and protecting your equipment. So if that's what you're interested in, I mean, I think that right there says it all. Okay, now this is one of my everyday carry guns. I go between this and my Glock 26 as far as a carry gun. Now this does dry out occasionally. Like the last time I cleaned this gun, I want to say was, when was the last time I went to the range? August 1st. So it's been 17 days since I've cleaned this gun. And I mean, it still looks pretty nice. And this is something I carry. You know, I carry it in a Kydex holster. I think part of the issues that, you know, just growing pains and learning pains was, you know, at one point I was using leather holsters. I was using the Summer Comfort. And I think, you know, one of the problems that I was running into was, you know, this resting in the leather holster, it was the moisture from the lubricant was getting pulled away and into the leather. And since I've switched to Kydex, I don't have that problem anymore. And you know, and that's, you know, one benefit of the Kydex. And you know, if you just look at this, I mean, no fingerprints, and you know, this is in great condition. Now, here's one issue that I did notice though, when particularly on this gun, and you know, I even noticed it on my I want to say the 19, or maybe it was the 26. I can't remember. This gun I have had some issues with this last year, and I wasn't sure quite what it was at first. You know, this, I cleaned it every time I got back from the range, like I do all my guns. But the way Frog Lube tells you to do this, or to clean your guns, is you take one of these microfiber rags and you just wipe it down, wipe all the you know, powder off, and it does exactly what it's supposed to, you know, what it says it does. All the residue just wipes right off, and you can put it back together and you're ready to go. Now I'm a little bit more picky than that when I clean. You know, I do reapply a little bit of this stuff. But one thing that I noticed, probably about, I want to say 5 or 6 months ago, I took this to the range, and I was having all kinds of ejection problems. And at first I wasn't sure if it was the extractor or what it was. And you know, when you apply this paste, it goes on pretty thick, and they tell you to coat every metal part. And this, I coated everything inside and out. I mean, I heated this up. I just like coated it until it was like just dripping with the Frog Lube, and I let it sit for, you know, a good 45 minutes till everything cooled down, wiped it off. It looked great. I mean, I was really happy with it. But here's one thing that I failed to do is when I applied this, I mean, I got it everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And let me go ahead and pull this apart, because it might be easier to show on this. When you heat this up, I mean, it gets into all the little cracks and crevices and everything in here. I mean, you can see like right here, this little push pin right there. I mean, it gets down in there. I mean, this little thing goes up and down right here, right? I mean, the liquid, when it's liquid, it creeps down in there, and it gets down in that chamber. And I think one of the problems that I was having was there was some of the Frog Lube stuff that got down in this chamber, and in the even in the firing pin chamber. And on here, I don't know if I can get a good picture of this. There's the extractor right. I don't have a pointer. Right there. I don't know if it'll focus. Right there, there's your extractor. It got down in that chamber. And, you know, I didn't think anything of it. I cleaned it, I wiped it down, everything looked great. And when I'd reapply, you know, I'd make sure everything was clean. I'd reapply, and every time I was reapplying, it was getting down in that chamber even more, and it was gunking up that chamber. And my story, getting back on track, about 5 or 6 months ago, I took this out to the range, and I was having major ejection problems, like all kinds of problems. And I was like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if my extractor got bent or what happened. And so what I did when I got home is I gave it a complete like field strip. I mean, I took this whole gun completely apart, and that's one thing I had never actually done on this, just because it's a somewhat new gun to me, and I had never taken off the back plate, and I had not taken out the extractor and the springs and all that good stuff, like you're probably supposed to do, and you know that's just my inexperience speaking, and what I noticed was when I pulled this extractor pin out, it was just full of filth, and a lot of that was the Frog Lube. You know, it had creeped down in there, and although I was wiping off all the external parts, the internal parts were just still coated with the Frog Lube, and it was not allowing, you know, the extractor to grab on properly. And, you know, I don't know if the springs weren't like springy or what, but, you know, that's, you know, one thing that you have to be really careful of when you're cleaning with the Frog Lube is even if you do field strip your gun and pull out, you know, all the internals, what I have learned that I need to do is I take this completely down. I take all the firing pin, the extractor, all of that out. Then I treat the slide. Then I clean out the channels in, you know, the firing pin channel, the extractor channel, and all the parts. I clean it out completely. Then I reassemble everything so everything goes together, you know, somewhat dry, because I don't want the Frog Lube, liquid or the gel, I'm sorry, the paste or the gel, to get down in there. And, you know, when I had first treated this, it was new, it was clean. And what I didn't realize was as I was coating it, it was getting down in all these little channels inside the slide. And I mean, it was really gumming up, you know, this gun in particular. And I, you know, again, I don't know if maybe that's just because it's smaller, so everything is amplified. I haven't had any issues with my Glock. However, when I pulled the slide apart, there was a significant amount of debris and gunk in there, you know, because every time I heated it, it just like does what Frog Lube does. It like wets itself, and then when it cools, it, you know, congeals again, kind of like this little edge, like it congeals. And this is what I was pulling out of like inside my channels. So like you have to be really careful in the order and how you do this. And, you know, that's something that I just kind of learned, you know, by trial and error. You know, the first few times I treated this, I just treated it. And, you know, I just left it exactly as is, just like this. And I just, you know, I heated it up and I just, you know, waxed this thing with a Frog Lube. And, you know, what I learned particularly with this gun, or with this right here, is it does get down in all the little chambers and channels and everything. And the best way that I have found to use this stuff is pull it completely apart. I mean, take off the back, pull out all the parts, treat the slide, and then get down in those channels and like really clean them out. You know, get a Q-tip or get, you know, whatever you have cleaning wise, get down in those channels, make sure that there's nothing in there, then reassemble it once, you know, you've cleaned it, reassemble it, and then you should be really good to go. I mean, this stuff does exactly what it says it does. You just have to be, you know, from what my experience, you have to really be careful in the order in which you apply it. Now in between, you know, I know Glocks will run dirty. I certainly, you know, I want to keep a clean firearm, mostly because, you know, I want this thing to last, and I want to know that it's going to function when I pull the trigger if I have to do that. So, you know, I'm just being overly clean about it. You know, I do clean every single time I come back from the range, even if I only put, you know, 25, 50 rounds through it. I still clean it. I still wipe it down. And then, you know, I don't, you know, I'm getting to the point now where I feel like I need to field strip it every single time, or at least the slide, every time I go out to the range too, because of this issue. I mean, this really threw me off. However, since I've cleaned this, and, you know, I've started, you know, taking the back plate off and then disassembling the internals, treating it, drying it, and then reassembling it, I've had no issues with this. In fact, I've had no issues with this actually. So I really attribute the problems that I was having with this particular gun, with just the Frog Lube getting down in all the pores and getting down in those channels, you know, because it is a liquid. You know, especially when it's hot, it is a liquid and it does get down into those. But once again, I mean, you can look at the finish on this. I mean, there's barely a fingerprint on this thing. I mean, you know, and I can touch it all I want to. I mean, it just does a great job. So, you know, if you are interested in Frog Lube, or you want to, you know, try it out, or maybe you're experiencing some of the same issues I did. I mean, you know, with this stuff, I mean, it does a great job, but you just have to be careful how you apply it, you know, because it's not as simple as just heat it, treat it, go. I mean, you can do that, but you are risking some potential problems down the line, like I experienced with my P238. So anyways, I just wanted to give you an update. Clearly it's not a quick update, because I blabbermouth. But anyways, it's, you know, it's a great product. If you've been holding out, trying it, I would say go for it. I really do like the paste better, but, you know, for a quick clean, this gel works great too. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a year in review, you know, on how Frog Lube has worked for me. It's so far right now, it is my favorite product that I've used. I use Ballistol still, you know, for not only firearms. I use Ballistol for a lot of things, and I do use it to clean. Occasionally, when it's really dirty, I'll do the Ballistol thing. You know, sometimes I throw in some gun butter on the rails. I know Frog Lube probably says you don't need to do that, or you shouldn't do that, but occasionally I do that anyways. And yeah, but, you know, this is what I've been using almost exclusively for the last year, and man, I'm sold on it. I mean, it's great. I'm going to continue to use it. And this stuff, I mean, I've been using it. I mean, it's still almost a full tub. You can see the, you know, the gouges in there where I use a toothbrush. You know, it's been digging in there, but I mean, you know, this stuff, I mean, I think I bought this for $35 off of Amazon, maybe $30. I can't remember, you know, as a package deal. And, man, it does what it says it does, but, you know, just beware. It's not perfect. You know, just beware of the issues that I experienced, and hopefully you haven't, but if you're experiencing some of those, you know, just think about cleaning in a different order. You know, don't just slap the stuff on there. So anyways, I think that's all. If you have any questions, let me know. Comment down below or send me a PM. I'd be happy to do a follow-up video if you'd like, if you have any other additional questions. Yeah, that's it. Fort Worth Glock Guy, out.